Hi there, today we're going to talk about some common bowing problems that I see with just about every violinist I work with. There are some really easy, quick things that you can fix that will improve your sound immensely because our sound on the violin is created entirely by our right hand. And if there's something wonky with that right hand, if it's too tight, if it's too loose, if it's not doing what it should, you're going to get bad sound. You're going to get squeaks, you're going to get poor tone, and it's not going to sound very good. Today I'm going to do a close-up of my bow hand and show you some do's and don'ts with the violin bow. First off, let's review a proper bow hold. Your first finger should rest on that padded part of the bow between your first and second knuckles. Second, you're going to bring your thumb in and it's going to bend up and touch the bow hair. That's the only point you should ever touch the bow hair. The thumb is going to be resting on the little nubby part right there, to the point that you should have a little mark on your thumb from sitting there. So you're resting on between the first and second knuckles with your first finger, and your thumb is bent up. That's the most important part of your bow hold. Next, we're going to bring in our third and fourth fingers here, and they're going to just sit at about a 45-degree angle. They're nice and relaxed. Next, to finish off our bow hold from our rock out sign that we've got going on right now, we're going to very gently curve around our first finger so it sits just kind of in front of and touching our thumb, and our pinky is going to rest just on top of the stick of the bow at the very end. So as I turn that over, that's how it would look when it's on the violin. My hand should always be very relaxed when I'm playing the violin. My pinky should never have tension and be pressing down like that. That's one of the biggest problems I see with new violinists, is they have a lot of tension in their pinky, and that tension goes all the way down the hand, wrist, arm, shoulder. That makes a really scratchy sound when you're trying to play notes. Your pinky, as soon as it rests on the violin, should be so relaxed that you could pretend you're drinking tea. Now we're going to talk about some common issues I see when people start trying to play notes. One of the things I see most often with new violinists is they don't extend their arm fully. Most people like to lock at the elbow or have a lot of tension in their upper arm. So what you end up seeing is this. And you can't make it the whole way down the bow without sliding halfway down the fingerboard. And that obviously doesn't create a very nice sound. So what you're going to want to do is relax your elbow and straighten from the elbow. Your upper arm is not doing the bowing for you for the most part. It's extending from the elbow and extending at the wrist. So what I recommend to a lot of violinists, particularly those that want to use their upper arm a lot, is to back yourself against a wall on a 45-degree angle. That will prevent your arm from moving backwards when you're trying to bow and force you to extend your arm the way you're supposed to. The second thing I tend to see is either a tight pinky, which we've talked about briefly here, and what that usually causes is a tight forearm and elbow again. So relax that pinky. So if you have a tight elbow and a tight pinky, relax your pinky by pretending you're drinking tea and back yourself against a wall just as a training tool for a little bit to extend your elbow. Another tip I can give most violinists is that you want to almost bow in a parabola. What I mean by that is you're bowing very light at the start of your bow, you add a little bit of pressure in the middle, and then you lighten up at the end as you're changing bows. So you're kind of doing, I'm exaggerating it right now, but you're doing a very arced motion. And what that does is that prevents scratching sounds, because if you keep an even pressure and you stop, you get that awful scratchy noise that a lot of young violinists have. So what you're going to want to do is start very gently. More pressure, gentle. Gentle, more pressure, gentle. The other tip is never completely stop your bow unless you're doing very staccato notes. So my bow almost never stops entirely. Even when I'm doing bows that stop, it's very gentle when I get to the end of the bow. The final thing is you're going to want an elbow that's up high. You want your elbow to be just slightly higher than your wrist, so that when you extend to the full length of your bow, your wrist can kind of bend, your elbow extends, and that keeps you on the same trajectory that you were going before, so you don't hit multiple strings at the same time. So if we keep our elbow elevated instead of down like this, it's going to be hard to hit the strings that you want to hit. So if keeping that elbow up and even helps your wrist go where it needs to go to keep you on the same strings and keep you going straight. So I hope that helps. If you have any other bowing concerns or problems, please leave a comment down below and I'm happy to get back to you as soon as possible or do another video for you. I'll see you all next time. Bye for now.